My parents have been policing my outfit for 41 years because they want me to cover myself up from the neck down, but I finally had enough and made them shut up. I have always been a chesty woman. Since I was 13 I have been a DD cup. PCOS will do that to you. It comes with hormone changes, weight gain, rapid growth of facial hair during puberty. After discovering an ovarian cyst the size of a softball was removed, I went from being flat-chested to looking like an adult film star over a few months. I can't help but develop so quickly. Anyway, my mother and father thought they could try and hide it with turtlenecks and baggy clothes. Where you would see teens wearing cute outfits, I looked like a wannabe nun, covered from head to toe to hide my body. As I grew up it got worse. I get asked to dance and my parents would buy me dresses that covered me from neck to toes. I swear my claustrophobia was at an all-time high living in that house. Because of this I also developed depression, so at this point I didn't care what I looked like and ate a lot. To cope with everything that was going on in my life and mind, I gained weight, a lot of it, and of course that was just another thing for my parents to complain about. Speed forward to now. I'm all grown up now and living on my own. For the past 20 years I have worked on myself and my mental health to the point I lost 182 pounds. I went from a size 26 to a size 10 to 12 depending on the style of clothing. And got my hormones in check. You think my family would be happy for me, right? Wrong. I got invited to my cousin's wedding a couple months ago. I went out and bought a dress for the occasion because why not? I never buy things for myself and I wanted to feel good on this day. I bought a beautiful blush pink dress with a sweetheart neckline and 2/3 sleeve with a lace overlay on top. It was the prettiest thing ever and only showed a little of my cleavage. As soon as I walked into the venue my mother and father waved me over to their seat so I could sit with them. As soon as I sat down my father decided it would be the perfect time to tell me while I looked nice it would be better if I would cover up with a wrap or something. I looked at my mother and she is clutching her imaginary pearls and instantly agreed with my father. Like me showing an inch or two of cleavage was the end of the world. I ignored them because I was raised better than to raise my voice in a church. After the ceremony I walked away and didn't say a word. I congratulated my cousin and her husband on the way out. About to head to the reception. And soon as I get in my car with the love of my life I hear my phone blowing up with texts. I glance at the screen and see both my father, mother and even my sister texting me options of wraps I could borrow for the reception. I sighed and said I don't need one because it's 84 degrees and I am already sweating in what I have on. They all respond with, well, if you knew how to dress yourself then we wouldn't have to help you. That's when I lost it. I texted back. You all realize I am 41 years old, I can dress myself right. I know me being big-chested must be so bad for you. Since I'm the one who has to live with them. And has lived with them for over 20 years. This is my body and I will wear what I want where I want. Stop trying to police my outfits. You bitched and blamed me when I was heavier and now that I feel good in my own skin you want to tear me down more. I'm done. I will see you at the reception and if any of you tries to cover me up to save face I will not hesitate to cut you all off. I turned my phone off and had my boyfriend drive us to the reception. He was so proud of me for standing up to my parents that we might have taken a detour to a secluded beach and made out for an hour. Lol. Anywho, once we got to the reception my cousin and aunt pulled me to the side and scolded me for sending my parents the message I sent. I explained to them that they have been policing my clothing for decades and I'm done with it. I'm an adult and I can decide what's appropriate and what's not. From what I was told by my brother, the first thing my parents did walking into the reception was show him the text I sent trying to get a reaction out of him. He told my parents that what I said wasn't wrong. They even tried to put a wrap on my chair that I was assigned by him. Grabbed it and threw it in his car before I showed up. When he didn't react like they wanted, that's when they pulled the bride to the side asking her to intervene on their behalf. Which then got my aunt involved. My aunt understood but my cousin said she isn't taking sides and wished I hadn't started drama on her day. I told my cousin if she was so concerned with drama then maybe she needed to go talk to my parents and tell them to stop telling people how I upset them. Edit to add, my aunt who also had PCOS and was rather large-chested herself before she got a reduction finally understood where I was coming from. My mother was even wearing the same shade of pink as myself. So the cousin was not mad about the pink colored dress, she was just upset that I upset my parents and sister. The only other person who was on my side and didn't see a problem with my outfit was my brother. The rest of the reception my brother and boyfriend were playing defense keeping my parents and sister away from me the rest of the night. Update, 2 days later, on Saturday I contacted my brother and sister to talk about what happened a few months ago at the wedding. My sister was hesitant but agreed and my brother was all in and said he'd be there. We met up at my sister's place and sat down. I started off the conversation saying that I love my family and would never insult them in any way, but for a 41-year-old woman to be reprimanded over a dress that wasn't even too revealing was ridiculous. My sister tried defending herself and my parents but my brother put a stop to it right there. He mentioned all the times mom, dad and her would always nitpick my outfits growing up, never allowing me the freedom to have my own personality or style. It wasn't about her, it was about me and how I feel. That shut her up. Lol. All I wanted was for her to see how it feels for me. Always being knocked down when I have something good going on in my life. Always feeling like a second-class citizen in the family. Never living up to their expectations. Not wanting to be the dutiful daughter anymore and wanting to make my own choices and living the life that I want. And it doesn't include covering myself up from the neck down. My honkers were no longer up for discussion. If they can't be happy that I am still willing to be a part of the family then so be it. And that went for her as well. I laid it all out. If she can't support me against my parents then I would have to cut her out too. I also mentioned how being cut out of Christmas because of my stunt at the wedding was uncalled for. I told her if she wants to side with mom and dad, that's fine, but I will no longer accept toxic behavior. We are all grown-ups and should act that way. No more involving people into family drama. She agreed. She said she would talk to mom and dad on my behalf because as of right now I am blocked by them. My brother, on the other hand, decided to be petty. He's planning a family Easter get-together and is going to invite everyone except my parents. He might go over there in the morning to see them and talk some sense into them, but he's not holding his breath on them realizing their mistakes. So as of right now I have both siblings on my side, but we will see for how long that lasts.